We're just hours away now from Minnesota's face mask mandate. It kicks in tomorrow morning at midnight. Face coverings must be worn inside businesses and indoor public spaces, with exceptions for medical conditions, as well as for eating and drinking. But local law enforcement agencies that we spoke with say they're taking a more educational stance on this new order. They say they don't have the time or manpower to go out looking for people who are not wearing a mask. Minnesota will be implementing a statewide mask mandate to slow the spread of COVID-19. As I mentioned, it starts tomorrow. Governor Tim Walz says you must wear a face mask in indoor public settings. The Valley Today's Kelly Hubbard visited with some local businesses to see how they plan on enforcing this new statewide mandate. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Lisa. North Dakota Governor Doug Burgum says in Fargo, a mask mandate, there won't be any such thing as of right now. But on the other side of the river, it's going to be a different story. Governor Tim Walz saying you're going to have to mask up or get out. Many restaurants and bars over in Moorhead have already started prepping for the mandate. And if you plan on grabbing a rice bowl or drinks at Soul Avenue Kitchen, they're telling you to bring a mask tomorrow. They say all guests must wear a mask except when seated at their table. They'll give you a disposable one if bringing a mask slips your mind. The taproom manager at Junkyard Brewing says their employees have been wearing face masks since the beginning of the pandemic. Right now they're only doing beer to go. Still, they've already made signage throughout their business saying if someone comes into Junkyard without a mask, an employee will tell them to grab one, or that person will be asked to do curbside service. Other businesses told me they're scared that the mask mandate will affect their business. Some customers saying they're not ready for it.
If you can help a child or elderly that's immunocompromised or anyone just by wearing a mask, it's really not that big of an inconvenience, and I think it's absolutely necessary.
Moorhead Police tells me that they will not be arresting anyone if they do not wear a mask, but they also said they won't be proactively enforcing it and only responding to complaints and inappropriate reactions when customers get disorderly.
A big change, though, for a lot of people. Kelly Hubbard reporting live for us. Thank you. Let's get a check now of our First Alert Storm Team forecast. It's a First Alert weather day as we prepare for some pretty extreme heat today, Lisa.
That's right, extreme heat, and then we top it off with a chance for severe storms tonight. So it's going to be a tough one today. You're going to want to be weather aware all day long and check back with us off and on throughout the day on all of this stuff. We're going to talk about it now, though. We've got those conditions out there that are already feeling muggy and warm. You can even almost see the moisture that's in the air here as we're looking out of our sky cam in Fargo. It's 75 degrees to start off this morning in Fargo, Grand Forks, Devil's Lake. Some areas of clouds. You can see some of those passing by right now. And in Bemidji, slightly better. We're at 68 degrees, not so warm, but we're all going to heat up here today. And that's already cooking up a couple of thunderstorms this morning up in the Northern Valley, north of Highway 2, one just south of Thief River Falls, and then another one that's producing some lightning, a couple of them in Pembina County and north of the border and north of Park River as well. So these are all moving to the northeast. I'll put this into motion for you to show you that they developed pretty quickly. They haven't really gotten much more than just to that level of producing some lightning bolts, and they'll continue moving northeast from there. So we missed the main event. That's good for those of us who don't want to see any more rain for a while. That big storm system hitting the western part of North Dakota and moving into Canada from there overnight. So here's one way to stay cool, but you're going to want to eat that ice cream fast. That's going to become a puddle very quickly today. We're looking at high temperatures reaching the 90s, a high of 95 in Fargo. So maybe some water might do you a little bit better here to stay cool and stay hydrated today. So this is not factoring in the humidity. When we do factor in the humidity, we're talking heat index values getting into the 100s. And so that heat index, it gives us an idea of what it may be like when we factor in that humidity and how our bodies might respond to it. It's harder to cool down when you've got all that moisture in the air. So it feels a lot tougher out there than it actually is. So we're looking at some mid 100s for Fargo and especially in the heart of the southern Red River Valley today, but everybody's going to have some impacts of this. And we have an excessive heat warning coming up for noon today through 8 o'clock this evening. Heat index values again around 105. And pink, a heat advisory. Still dealing with the heat and still having some issues with it, but perhaps not as intense. Here's a look at our storm risk for today. Again, it's tonight I would say evening hours in the James River Valley and then heading into the late night hours elsewhere that we see our storms start to develop. So after that hottest time of day, we're looking at a slight risk, and Fargo's included in that. And then Saturday, another round is possible in the afternoon and evening. A little bit lesser risk, but still there's the potential for severe rainfall potential. This is through Sunday morning, so over several rounds, we're looking at some places getting more than an inch. And right now, the Southern Valley may be the focus for that. Sunday, we can all take a breath and maybe give ourselves a little break from staying indoors and staying out of the heat with temperatures in the 80s. Let's check it out with Devin Fry for the Valley Today's Traffic on the Move.
Thanks, Lisa. We're finishing up our morning drive for this hour on I-94. We are heading west towards Bismarck. Overall, the traffic flow, you can see up ahead, it has increased a bit since we first got out here on the roadways. It was a nice, easygoing Friday morning to start off the day, but it has just gotten a little bit busier out here on the roads. It's still nothing super crazy. You can see there's plenty of space between the road, or between the vehicles, I should say, and this leftmost lane is still completely wide open. So things are moving along nicely here on the interstates, despite getting a little bit busier. Overall, you shouldn't really be facing any delays for your morning drive as long as you avoid these construction projects that have been ongoing for quite some time here throughout the FM area. Overall, though, like I said, the main issue is going to be roadwork areas, and those random ones like on 32nd Avenue, those are going to be the ones to look out for. We're going to keep checking out the roadways in the next hour on the Fargo CW, but for now, for your traffic on the move, I'm Devin Fry.
Police have arrested a South Dakota man in a 1974 cold case murder in Minnesota after using DNA to link him to the killing 46 years ago. The 79-year-old man was taken into custody yesterday at his Sioux Falls home. He's accused of second-degree murder in the fatal stabbing of 74-year-old May Herman of Wilmer in western Minnesota. A recent cold case review found that the man was a suspect shortly after the killing. A search warrant was obtained for a DNA sample, which matched the suspect to the evidence. North Dakota's Republican governor is denouncing an anti-LGBTQ resolution that was passed by hundreds of delegates this spring by mail-in ballots, calling it insulting and divisive. The governor issued a statement blasting the resolution, which includes the assertion that many LGBT practices are unhealthy and dangerous. The state GOP is now apologizing for the language in that resolution and is promising it will be changed at a future meeting. It's a major disappointment for thousands of young football players in the FM Metro after their upcoming season was canceled. The move involves FM Athletics youth football, which has more than 1,500 participants playing on almost 70 different teams. Organizers say they came to the decision to cancel the 2020 season after a unanimous vote by the board for the health and safety of the entire football family. The league will be fully refunding all registration and fundraising fees. Fargo Catholic schools are planning to go with in-person learning this fall. JP2 Schools President Mike Hagstrom says they're remaining flexible, but he says the majority of parents and staff want to be in the classroom. He says learning in person is best. A survey conducted by the Minnesota Teachers Union finds continued distance learning is the preferred method of teaching for many educators heading into the new school year amid this ongoing pandemic. Education Minnesota represents more than 70,000 educators, and they heard back from 20,000 teachers for this survey. 49% say they prefer all distance learning for the fall. 29% prefer a hybrid of distance learning and in-person instruction, and 17% want to be only in the classroom. The North Dakota Board of Higher Education says state colleges and universities should develop policies and procedures that either strongly encourage or require the use of masks as a precaution against the coronavirus when classes resume this fall. North Dakota's chief health strategist told the board that widespread testing is planned at the state's bigger campuses before classes resume and as the semester evolves. North Dakota has added 128 new cases of COVID-19 and one new death. The latest victim is a man in his 70s from Burleigh County with underlying health conditions. There are 921 active cases. In Minnesota, 9 new deaths are reported and 763 new cases of COVID-19. The active case count now stands at 4,636. After several cancellations, it's time to get your classic car shined up and ready to roll. we're told that the August cruise night in West Fargo has been given the green light. It's scheduled from 4:30 to 9 on the night of August 20th. Now, it won't be a cruising event. Instead, each classic vehicle will be parked for the entire night. Masks are encouraged and will be placed throughout the event. Sanitizing and hand washing stations will also be available. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Today's question: the average parent does this 4 times a week. The average single person does it just once a week. As a parent, I totally agree with this. The answer is laundry. You're having to take care of everyone's laundry. Remember, today we do have a first alert weather day, so we want you to stay with us as we update you. Already a hot and muggy day. Tune in and also use that VNL weather app to stay up to date. Hot, muggy, and also we could brew up some storms. You know how that works. The Today Show and CBS This Morning are just about to start, but the Valley Today rolls on. Join us right now for more up-to-the-minute news and weather on the Fargo CW.